It's no secret that Elden Ring is a difficult game. We know there are some of you who might be stuck on a certain boss, sick of a certain hellish landscape, or maybe you just want to steamroll everything in your way. If you want to dramatically increase your character level to overcome these obstacles quickly, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to IGN's Elden Ring Rune Farming Guide, where we'll show you beginner tips, rune optimization equipment, and also endgame routes for gathering as many runes as possible. So, you've just started a brand new game, and you want to start leveling up faster than these guys at the Gatefront Ruins will allow for. Don't worry, we've got just the thing. Once you've spoken to Melina and received Torrent, your spectral steed, head through this gate to the west of the Gatefront Ruins, being careful of this giant as you go by. Once you reach the Stormhill shack, follow this path to the east to find the Warmaster's shack nearby and activate the Side of Grace. From here, you can ride south to where several giants are hanging out. Hop on your horse and ride around this area to annoy 2 to 3 giants at one time. You can start leading them around as they try and attack you, but unlike some other enemies in this game, these giants can and will hurt each other. You want to stay close enough to them to keep prompting them to attack you, while also staying out of harm's way. They become a bit faster when they pull their swords out, but they will attack a wider area, meaning they are more likely to hurt the other giants. By doing this, you can let the giants do the heavy lifting. There's about 5 giants in the area, each granting roughly 1,000 runes, but this process isn't too fast in the grand scheme of things. It's also not entirely safe, as they can catch up to you and take you out, or shout at you and make you vulnerable to attack. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kerry, this is dangerous and too slow. I want more runes and I want them now. I hear you, and I see that look in your eyes. So, let's get more runes, more safely, and faster. This next one is less of a rune farm route, and more of a rune farm bounty, a one-off reward that can have you earning nearly 100,000 runes if handled correctly. As such, we recommend this option for any player in Elden Ring, from beginner to expert. Before we show you the way though, you will need a few things. First, we need a bleed weapon. There is one you can find early in the Weeping Peninsula if you ride south from Lake Greyoll towards the Bridge of Sacrifice. Watch out for the explosive ballista bolts and get to the other side before riding down this path. In the back of this broken down caravan is a chest which holds the Morning Star, which nearly any character can use due to its low stat requirements. Next, you will want to get this item, the Gold-Pickled Fowl Foot. There is one located in Limgrave on a small cliff overlooking the road where this caravan rolls past, east of Lake Greyoll. The Gold-Pickled Fowl Foot is very important for this guide, and it significantly boosts the amount of runes that you can gain from any source for a limited amount of time. It is a consumable item, so we'll need to use this one wisely, but we'll show you how to get more later. Now, we're ready to slay a defenseless Elder Dragon. From this same location, we want to travel northeast towards the Third Church of Marika. Rest here, pick up the nearby items, and then walk outside to the north to find a small river. Follow it to find a transporter that will take you far away to the north of Caelid. Be sure to rest in the Bestial Sanctum, and then ride south towards the Farum Great Bridge, ignoring everything nearby. Rest at this side of Grace in case you need a respawn, and then run at this dragon. This isn't the dragon we have come here to kill, and chances are it will murder you if you try to fight it, so just run past or under it, and keep on going until you see the Minor Erd tree in front of you. Ride around the right-hand side of the tree to avoid another boss fight, and then follow this upper path, ignoring the Erd tree guardians in your way. Drop down this ledge, past the big Scarab, and then up onto the ledge in front of you. Ahead is the ancient dragon that we came here for, but this isn't the place to start your attack. While galloping on Torrent, ride past the dragon's face and then around its left wing, being careful not to aggravate the more mobile dragons nearby. Jump the wall here, and then you can either hide behind the dragon's wing/tail area, or head to the fort behind the dragon to rest at that side of Grace and reset the area. Now, equip your Morningstar, get behind the dragon, and start swinging. It may seem like you're doing insignificant damage, but What you're doing during this time is increasing the dragon's bleed buildup. When the dragon sustains enough bleed, it will suffer roughly 13,000 damage at once, because bleed does damage based on a flat percentage. Keep on swinging and swinging as the dragon's health gets lower and lower. At this stage, when the dragon's health is very low, you will want to consume the gold-pickled fowl foot we gathered earlier to increase the rune reward we get from the dragon. Don't eat this too early because it only lasts for a few minutes. A few more attacks and... That's nearly 100,000 runes straight in your pocket. You can put these points towards anything now. This is an incredibly simple way to gain 20 to 30 levels right from the start of the game. Now, again, I know what you're thinking. Kerry, it's not enough. The scary scrappy dudes in Caelid are still eating my face. I want to earn thousands of runes a minute. Well then, it's time to get serious. This upcoming route can be followed early in the game, but you run the risk of becoming the most overpowered being in the lands between if you go this way, so be warned. Most endgame areas in the game require you to defeat a number of bosses in the world to unlock the paths to them. This makes places such as Miquella's Haylig Tree or the mountaintops of the Giants inaccessible without completing everything that comes before them, but there is another way to reach an endgame area early. Do you remember Varre? He's the snide character who speaks to you in Limgrave when you emerge from the tutorial.
You are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
His questline holds an item which takes you to a special location, which is the key to you gaining as many runes as you could want. Once you have defeated Godric in Stormvale Castle, or any other rune bearer for that matter, you can visit the Two Fingers in Round Table Hold by talking to Enya. Once you have done this, return to Varre at his new location at the Rose Church in Leonia, south of Raya Lucaria Academy. When you speak to him and he asks you what you think of the Two Fingers, say that they didn't seem right, and he will give you 5 bloody festering fingers. These are items used to invade other players' worlds, and you'll need to use 3 of these fingers to progress the quest. Don't worry, you don't need a particular outcome for these invasions. You can win, lose, disconnect, it doesn't matter. After you've used 3 bloody fingers, speak to Varre again, and when he gives you the option, choose to be anointed. After this, he will give you the Lord of Blood's favor, a cloth that you are to soak in Maiden's blood. To do this, you want to ride to the western edge of Leonia and up to the 4 belfries. Grab the imbued sword key from the 4th belfry, and then use it to open the transporter that says Precipice of Anticipation. This will take you to the Church of Anticipation, where you started the game. You will need to defeat the Grafted Scion to proceed, which may be tricky for brand new characters, but once you have, proceed to the church where your journey began, and you will see a maiden slumped against the wall. You will then have the option to soak the cloth in her blood. Once you have, return to Varre to complete your task. Continue his dialogue until he gives you the Pure Blood Knight's Metal. This is the item we've been working towards. Varre will warn you not to use it yet, but we don't have to be concerned. Just use it anyway to be transported to an endgame area, Mohgwyn Palace. We've almost made it to the rune farming location. Grab this map, and this side of Grace while you're here at the foot of the mausoleum, before turning around and summoning Torrent. You're about to run past a lot of powerful endgame enemies, so keep galloping while sticking to this right-hand wall. Once you reach the lake, swap sides over to the left wall and then follow it while going south until you reach the bottom of this hill on the other side. Continue galloping past all of these Albinaurics until you reach the top of the hill and this site of Grace. If you're being chased and things are looking dicey, prioritize activating this rest site so that you can spawn here going forward. Now that we're here, it's time to start playing Rune Factory. Wait, no, not that. Not that Rune Factory, it's time to make some runes in Elden Ring. You have a couple of ways that you can go about this based on how automatic you want this to be. You can start by just attacking the sleeping Albinaurics here, which is a decent way to be actively earning thousands of runes per minute. Powerful area of effect spells and large weapons can be good here at higher levels to clear the area faster. There is a faster and easier way to make runes here though. It only requires that you have a bow and some arrows. If you don't have one, you can buy a longbow from the Twin Maiden husks in Round Table Hold. From the Site of Grace, move quickly to the edge and look down at the lake. On the left-hand side is a diseased crow strutting back and forth. If you time your shot, take the drop of the arrow into account, and aim through this gap in the tree, you can strike the bird, which will aggro it. Fortunately for you, it seems it can't really fly, and it will just charge off the edge of the cliff, rewarding you with roughly 11,000 runes. Even more if you use a Gold-Pickled Fowl foot. Now you can shoot, rest, and repeat to gain nearly 100,000 runes every minute. You don't even have to wait too long for the bird to fall either, as you will gain the rewards while your character sits down and stands back up, unless you're really quick. If you start running short on arrows, you can buy more from most merchants, which won't be a problem with your renewable source of income. You can also craft more if you have the materials for it. We do have one final route, and it's our fastest method yet. As of patch 1.04.1, you can repeatedly jump off the side of an area to earn 100,000 runes at once. If you do this while constantly swinging your sword, your character cancels any death animation, which sends you falling through the world. Eventually, the map above you unloads, leading to the enemies in the area all dying at once. This works by climbing to specific areas where you aren't meant to be. If you fall in the right spot, you will miss whatever in-game trigger tries to kill you instantly when you fall. You could do this in Mohgwyn Palace with some careful jumps near the mausoleum. Jump to the top of this tree root, and then double jump around the tree to this slight ledge. Jump quickly towards the left while sticking to the wall, and keep jumping until you get up. Climb up this rock a bit further, up to roughly this point here. And then double jump away from the rock with Torrent, making sure to slightly delay that second jump. Now, keep attacking with a weapon you can swing, and you should start to fall through the world. After a while, you'll receive a big lump of runes at once, at which point you can fast travel back to the nearest Site of Grace to start again. This method is a little tricky and quite the exploit, but it does get you the most runes for your time out of any method we have mentioned here today. Be warned that you run the risk of defeating overworld bosses by doing this in other areas, meaning you won't be able to challenge them yourself. It also wouldn't be too surprising to see this method patched in the future, but this option is there for those that want to try it. Before we wrap up this video, there are a couple more tips we can offer to help you make the most out of these rune farming locations. Directly east of the Smouldering Wall Site of Grace in Caelid is a dungeon, the Abandoned Cave. Completing this dungeon rewards you with the Gold Scarab Talisman, which acts as a constant rune acquisition buff. We recommend getting this as soon as you are able to, as it increases every method of rune gathering, including the methods we've shown you in this video. Head east until you reach this gap in the ground. Look down to identify this ledge in the opposite wall, and then carefully jump down to it. This is the entrance to the cave. Get through the nasty rotten swamp and defeat the boss for your reward. This dungeon is a bit tricky, so check out our Abandoned Cave guide on IGN for some help if you need it. Also, if you want more Gold-Pickled Fowl feet, there is a way you can craft them. If you enter Murkwater Cave here in Limgrave, north of Lake Aegir, but don't kill the boss, then Patches will become a vendor for you to purchase items from. You can then buy this crafting book from him that allows you to craft Gold-Pickled Fowl feet for the cost of 3 Roa fruit, 1 4-toed fowl foot, and 1 gold firefly. You can find Roa fruit nearly anywhere in Limgrave, but a simple way to grab a handful of these is to go to the first step Site of Grace, grab the 5 or so nearby here, and then reset the area and grab them again. To get 4-toed fowl feet, head to this beach in the Weaving Peninsula north from the 4th Church of Marika and take out the birds for a chance to receive a foot from one of them. Make sure to use a bow so you don't scare the others off. You can also grab the gold fireflies nearby in this small lake to the south. The time it takes to grab the items for this is time that you could have spent grinding for runes in the first place, so it may be less efficient in the long run. But these are great to use before a boss fight or just in general, so we wanted to give you the option. With these sources of unlimited power at your fingertips, the challenges of the lands between will be a breeze. You can create all types of characters and try new spells and weapons with your level as high as you wanted, so get creative and have some fun. If you need help upgrading your weapons to match your character's level, check out our Smithing Stone Bell Bearing video. Or if you want to put your overpowered character to the test, check out our guide for how to unlock the secret endgame area of Miquella's Hayleague tree. For everything else Elden Ring, keep it here on IGN.